Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I just got done putting some epoxy on 3 different rods, so I've got them here in the rod drying rack. And I started going through some comments from viewers from some older videos, and I did have several comments from viewers regarding some of the micro baits that I like to use. Like this is a little 2-inch Kitech little spider. Stuff like that, stuff like these little lunker hut. These are the micro stash little hive baits. It's like a little tiny wacky rig style bait. I mean, we're really talking about like a lot of little crappie style baits. And the questions weren't really regarding those baits, but they were more regarding the hooks that I use to rig those baits. And it was a really good question because honestly, that's the hard part. Finding baits that'll work is a lot easier than finding hooks that will fit these baits. You know, when I look at these little spider grubs by Kitech, these little 2-inchers, the body itself is right at 1 inch long. And when you're talking about a 1-inch long bait, traditional hooks don't tend to work all of the time. I mean, you can even get a size 1 hook and it will be too big for this. So I figured I'd do a quick video to kind of walk you through some of my favorite micro jig heads to use on these really small plastics because they are tough to find. I don't even know that Tackle Warehouse carries these. I'll put the link if they do, but a lot of this stuff is almost more of your specific crappie style jig heads. The problem though, going with like a traditional crappie jig head is most of those are lower quality hooks. They tend to break a lot. They're not nearly as sharp. And they're just not as good as a nice chemically sharpened hook that we're used to in the bass fishing market. So I'm going to walk you through a couple. One of my absolute favorites right off the bat is this guy right here. This is, I can't even grab them, they're so small. This is the Gamakatsu Round 211. So it's a round ball jig head, but it's almost got a little bit of a big gap hook on it for a tiny little hook. Now this is a size 2 hook. It's just a little tiny guy, but this works really good when you pair it up with something like that little spider. I mean, it just fits it really well. And these things are laser sharp. They're almost like you almost have to be careful touching them because they'll just get you. But I really like those. So for my smallest baits, I generally go with these guys, these little round ball 211s by Gamakatsu. Another one that I really like that I've been using quite a bit. You know, you guys know how good the Finesse Shrooms hooks are. They're really good as well. They have their new micro Finesse Shrooms hooks. So they're even smaller. They're made for their micro series Ned rigs and their micro baits. So that's another one that's really good. Those have only been out for probably about a year now. Another one that I really like is this guy right here. This is the Kitech Tungsten Mono Guard. Let me pull one up for you. So these are tungsten, and they make these in a bunch of different sizes. Again, just a straight round ball design, but a pretty basic jig head. That's a good one. And then the last one that I use quite a bit as well is just the Fusion 19 half head. They make these in various sizes, and you can get them in really light. That's just a size 1 hook. Generally speaking, you're looking at least size 1 hooks or smaller. And if you can get them smaller, more power to you. But you really get into a range where you start running into a bunch of baits that are too big, or hooks that are too big for the baits that you're choosing. So hopefully this answers some of those questions. Like I said, I have been getting several questions regarding the different hooks that I use for these tiny little baits. And it can be really difficult to find ones that fit. So if it helps you guys, or you have other hooks that you like to use with your micro baits, put that up in the comment section as well, so that we can learn from you. And if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned, new video coming out tomorrow.